But because you seem to have some autismal difficulty in understanding people when they talk to you, we're going to go back in and I'm going to shit on the game some more, just for you. So let's get to it. So, criticisms to actually improve the game. Change all of the graphics. All of them. This top-down little character that swivels around like this is bullshit. This looks terrible. You're basically playing a bracket. Like if you look on your keyboard, if you have a QWERTY keyboard, look to the right of P. There's a little bracket there. That's the character you're playing. It's shit. And I'm going to keep using the word shit because lovely autismal Austin demands it. So, what else can we fix? The lighting is a little weird because we have this weird global lighting in the center here, but we seem to also have a light source from the northwest for some reason. Let's see if that stays consistent. See, the attack animation is pretty much garbage as well. Doesn't really give you a clear sense of whether or not your swings matter. Because there appear to be a couple, how do I say, thrusting motions and some swings. So since I don't have a consistent area for my attack to actually be, how do I show this? Maybe I should do an overlay for all the different swipe patterns. But I don't think that they matter. It's probably just the same area of effect regardless of which animation is being used. And it's really not worth the effort. The graphics are lazy. They're essentially shapes, just sort of erratically placed with different colors on them. It's a little too abstract for me, I guess. And this just what is this? Is this an area rug on grass? Maybe? Just tie the room together? I don't know. Slingshot. It's about as boring as it sounds. How appropriate for you, Austin. You're about as boring as you sound, too. So let's see here. What else? What else can we do to improve the game? Because I don't know. I think calling it a Flash game pretty much encapsulates everything that's wrong with the game. But if you haven't played a Flash game, maybe you don't know. So maybe it's the line art. The line art in the game. For everything, really. Because it's a little confusing for me what the direction of the game is supposed to be. Because there are some assets in the game that look like they had effort put into them. But then so much of it doesn't. There's a lot of gradient used for no reason. And hold on. Oh, we've got a double long room. That's cool. Cool. And see, the thing is that I don't really want to compare this to another game because I think that would be doing those games a disservice. But how to improve? How to improve other than graphically? We'll definitely make a right click something other than this. Like, I think if you're going to have this ability, this should be on the keyboard. Or not on the keyboard, excuse me. Because you have to aim it. And I feel like this would be like something I would want to use to escape. Is there a way I can fix that? Maybe I can change that in the controls? No. No? Auto aim off. Oh boy. No? Okay. Let's see here. Where is it? Ability. That. Oh boy. Yay, we can fix it. Excellent. Okay, so that's one problem with the game fixed. Yay. Oh my god. This menu is awful too. Like, I guess it's trying to look like paper maybe, but it just kind of looks like this person has never actually handled real paper in their life. They have never actually encountered parchment. And that actually goes for this pen as well. Ugh. Oh, we can have auto aim on. Let's try that out. I'm sure that'll be fun. Ability, mouse right. I guess that's E. That's where I had things before. I think the audio's probably fine. Paper overlay. Can we turn that off? Oh, motion blur can turn off. Yay, sweet. Let's turn all this shit off. Fix the anti-aliasing all the way up. Because it looks bad enough. Oh, great. Yeah, this improved everything. Use it while it lasts. Where's the counter? I don't see a counter for it. Okay, this is bothering me too. That I don't immediately see where the doors are when I enter a room. Maybe I'm just not paying attention when I enter. Okay, so where are the rooms gonna, or where are the doors for the next room going to be when I kill this, whatever it is? I'm gonna guess it's probably supposed to be a wolf, but oh my god, come on. It reminds me of, oh, cool, we can get right away to the boss. It kind of reminds me of one of those dusters that you can get over the edge of like a bookcase or something. I mean, I guess now I know where they come from, but... Okay. Oh, he just stays right here. So we have different boss for the first one. Okay, let's try that again. Dash space. Where did it go? Okay. So where was the thing that I changed to E? What happened there? Is it this one? Oops. All right. Escape. There we go. So the hookshot doesn't disengage. That's great. Wow. This hookshot's ass. It should really... Okay, so here's a suggestion for the game, too, to improve it. If the hookshot doesn't actually pull you anywhere, it should really disengage. Because you just get hung up on things if you leave it like that. So, let's go ahead and keep playing the first level until we finish it. Play. This is so much fun. I heartily recommend this game to anyone, especially Austin. Okay, this is also bothering me too. There seems to be space to get through here, doesn't there? It seems like there's enough room for my character, but there's not. I cannot get through here. And that happens a lot. That was happening a lot with those rocks as well. But I didn't want to blame, you know, not hit detection, I guess, but there. See, I can get stuck again. Like, you just can't get through here. It looks like you can. That's why a lot of games that are like this are sort of on a grid pattern, so you can see if there is a space or not. So now that I know that the hookshot can actually slide me through another room, that's probably the only beneficial thing I've seen with the hookshot so far. Sheesh. Oh boy. But this is just really awkward to aim, even now that I have it on my right mouse button. Doesn't work. Thought he'd fall in anyway. See, I can't hookshot away. And I can't move up, apparently. Oh, it's because of these flowers. That's why. I don't understand how to get through here. I was wondering what I was getting stuck on before, because there weren't as many rocks, I thought. So it's those flowers I can't get around. That's interesting. Not really. So I need, what, a ranged weapon to get through there? Is that it? If you can't beat the first boss with your basic equipment, that kind of shits on the player. But that's fine. I don't mind being shit on. If I minded being shit on, I wouldn't play this at all, right? I would probably stop playing it within 5 minutes or something. Oh well. This is great. This is such a just a fun, jolly time for the whole family. Call your grandma and tell her to get a hook shot. She knows what that means. Good for her. Let's try this again. So yeah, can I actually hit him? Oh, I have to hit the rocks at him. Got it. Got it. Alright. Fantastic. That's not going to be a pain in the ass to do at all. So we just got to have these real close to him. Wow, this is great. Glad I figured this out. Well, we'll just do another run then. This game is so much fun. It's so easy to aim those potatoes that he's throwing on the ground for me. I can't believe how great this game is in so many levels. Gee whiz, Austin, you sure showed me so many layers of depth to this game. It's almost like I didn't give it a fair shot the first 5 minutes I played it. Huh. It's almost like there wasn't everything there was to see in the game in the first 5 minutes. I wonder if it's just more of the same. Wouldn't that be something? You play this game for more than 5 minutes and there's more to it. I would be so surprised if that was the case. Oops, I got hit. Let's go throw potatoes again. Oops. Oh well. Oops. Oh, looks like he's got me again. He's got me again with his potatoes. Oh no. God, I hate potatoes so much. No, I'm dead. I died. Oh no. Ah. Man, I'm so bad at this really easy game. What will I ever do? How can I move on in my life? Man, I really shortchanged this game, calling it exactly what it is in only 5 minutes, instead of spending 25 minutes doing the same shit over and over again, not really having a good time ever. Man, it's a good thing that child on the internet told me what's what, or I would not have ever tried so much at this game. What a crisis that would have been for me. Who will ever take me seriously? If I don't play this made in Game Maker, or probably actually was made in Flash, but man. Definitely got to take this game seriously, you know. Bullets from my slingshot. Good. Glad I have this. I'll definitely need it. So since I have an actual weapon for my right mouse button. We'll switch that back. Now, if they started you with a secondary weapon, that would almost be a suggestion to improve the game. Oh boy, literally a pushover, finally. Oh my god, that reference. Look guys, a reference to Pokemon. What an awesome game this is. Whoa, wow. Look at this amazing, amazing little interim world we have here. Man, what game does this remind me of? It's like shitty Gauntlet or something. No, Gauntlet's better than this. That's not fair to Gauntlet. I'm sorry. So what's wrong here? Color choice? Definitely. I don't think there's ever really a correct time to make anything you have to read bright red. Like it's on an exit sign, but you don't really have to read it. You just have to find it, right? So imagine if the exit sign wasn't just the bright red exit, but was actually a list of instructions on how to escape from where you are. Would you really want to stare at that? No, I wouldn't. And I certainly don't want to look at it here. So I guess that could kind of, sort of seeg into the font use, but let's look at the font here. Save and exit, I wish. You know, I guess if I was playing this at a smaller resolution, or not a smaller resolution, but like if I was playing this on a mobile device, I'd probably break the mobile device first of all, but at least I could read this most likely. I don't like it, but it's not bad. So I'm not gonna say change the font, but definitely color choice needs work. And it's just, what is this? What is going on here? You're just asking a lot of me to assume that those are arms, because like I have a double chin, and that happens a lot. So I think the game is too abstract. I think it requires like. These are supposed, I'm going to imagine that these are supposed to be clouds because there's something that kind of looks like lightning coming out of the same spot over and over again. But, yeah, I don't think this is so much a graphical, like a design decision. More, well, I guess it's still a design decision to look like shit, but it's not really a consistent aesthetic that's going on. Like if the whole game had the same aesthetic that the clouds do, where it's variable line width, and see, this tweening is just, that's what makes it look like a Flash game to me, is all the tweening. But if it had that sort of, okay, look at the line art for this guy, for Gray Magneto over here, and compare that to the cloud. Like, it looks like two different people made these. It doesn't look, it even looks different from the ground and from everything else around it. Like, nothing really fits together. Everything looks kind of almost borrowed, like he didn't make all the graphics himself, or the art team wasn't working together, and it was more of a, you know, I'll give you $2 over PayPal if you make a little scroll icon for me, or something like that. And these little pillars, it just looks, I know what it looks like. It looks like a collage. Like I don't know what game it was called, but I remember in elementary school on one of those little shitty computers that they had in the corner of the room, there was a game that had all sorts of little clip art that you could smack together and try to make a little picture out of. That's what this game looks like. It looks like clip art. Like maybe I need to bring up a Flash game, or maybe I need to bring out clip art, because these kids are just not understanding what I'm trying to get across here with the way this game looks. And should the game presentation matter? Yes, it should. It's a video game. Visual. And I would say that I've played less graphically complex games than this that still looked better, which is why I'm so frustrated with this. Like I was playing Switcheroo earlier in the day that I did the review for this game, and there's a lot less going on visually in that game, and it looks so much better. So it's busy. It's overly complicated in a really distracting way. And it looks like the person who made this game doesn't know what they're doing artistically. And it really detracts from the game for me. Also with the, like, how can I get through little spaces and stuff? Like, it's not clear where the lines of demarcation are. So they're the hitbox on my character or whatever. It's hard to navigate with this character the way he is. So what are these things? Speed up, dash potion, fire scroll. Is that my money up here? 491. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, you ever read a webcomic made by somebody who just learned how to use Photoshop and they don't know what DPI means yet, and they don't know how big a comic page is supposed to be either printed or on a web page, and they just sort of make just random rectangles for their panels, and they don't know how to draw, so they just use the little shape tool for everything. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Only instead of Photoshop, maybe it's Illustrator. Or maybe he learned how to use the pen tool a little bit. That's what this variable line width is all about. I just realized that these two clouds are exactly the same. How fucking lazy is that? Oh my god. Because then that really makes them not seem like clouds at all anymore. Now it seems like they're just little, like, 3-pillared floating lightning farters or something. Well, I can't afford anything, so I'm going to just move along. Get exit here. How do I exit? Here we go. See, I thought that exit platform was actually just a pillar that I couldn't traverse in any way. There was nothing to demonstrate other than the saying exit and there being a little arrow. Like, it wasn't even glowing or anything. There was nothing to demonstrate that it was indeed something that you could interact with or that would relocate your character in the game world. Okay, well that's great. So I finished the first level, or the first world, or whatever the fuck Austin wants to call it, but... So the music changed, and the palette changed, and now there's penguins. So I'm gonna guess this is the ice level, and this is where having the area rug really fucks up the level too, because if this is snow, can I fall through this? Is this ice? It's not water, because I haven't fallen through it, but it doesn't... It's a bad choice. And the lighting is inconsistent again. What the fuck is this? Like, why even have lighting then? I'm really enthusiastic about seeing this next boss that we're going to have to deal with. Fucking penguins. There we go. Yang. Great. Okay. So I have to get him into the light and then smack him. Well, that's another problem that we have. The fucking... come on. The health bar is in the way of the game map. You can't see shit. See, why wasn't the portal like this in the interim level? See, look at this. Why doesn't it glow? Like, you just have random shit on the ground over here. Why isn't that random shit also? You know what I mean? Great. So, did I lose speed or did I gain speed? It's -1 speed up. Fuck, I don't know. Move speed. We have, okay, I guess these are vials. Well, volumetric, whatever's. Oh my goodness. Fuck. Austin, why'd you do this to me? Okay, so now we're in the purple version of the world we've been playing in this whole time. Looks like it's probably undead stuff. Oh yeah, yeah, those are definitely lightning vampires. Oh, okay. See, all right, I'm gonna kill this and tell you what I mean. Wow. All right. So I thought these little area rugs again were the only places that I could walk on. I thought I was gonna like fall into a pit, and that these were floating. I don't know why. I'm dumb because clearly, if I look at it a little bit longer, they've got little shadows on the ground here or whatever. But that would have been an interesting room layout at least. But that's kind of against the conceit of the game, that anything be interesting or good. So I'm pretty sure that means the run is over, right? I cleared 2 worlds, Austin, 2 of them, and the game didn't open up. It didn't get better. It didn't change, really. It didn't even become much of a game. There's not really a clear motivation for what I'm supposed to do, or why these worlds exist in the order that they do, where I'm traveling to, or anything like that. It's not even a story. There's no conflict. The only conflict that I can think of is that, ow, stuff hurts. But if I decide that my character is, you know, suicidal, then mission accomplished right in the first world, right in the first 5 minutes. So, you know, I don't know what you want from me, really. Like, what else do you need to see from this game that that I hadn't provided in the first review? It's all the same shit. It's garbage. It's one of the worst games I've gotten for free in a long time. The only worst one is probably like Rogue Harvest. If you want to play a worse game than this, go play Rogue Harvest. It's definitely a piece of shit. But I feel like the gameplay is even better in Rogue Harvest, so that's not even true. Wow. A game worse than Rogue Harvest. I didn't ever think that I'd have to review a game that's that bad. I don't know, they're pretty close. They're at least in the same family. They gotta be cousins or something, because Jesus, it's bad. I will give, okay, the story goes on, has to be better, at least in one aspect, in that I do like their little title graphic here. I don't like that it's animated the way it is or anything, but I like, you know, ordinarily I really hate different fonts or whatever, but it works here. It kind of works for like how disjointed and janky the whole game is. And I do like how the sword looks significantly better than anything you're going to see in the game. And just some random rocks, because those are in the game too. So you get kind of a sense of the game just looking at the title card here, that you're going to have a bad time. You know, Rogue Harvest, it was completely nonsense. I guess it's nonsense here too. You don't really go into space in the first couple levels, except for those interim levels that I was bitching about at length. Which I don't actually know if those were in space or not, because they had clouds. You don't really have atmospheric clouds. And well, then again, they didn't really look like clouds, right? So whatever. But at least the title screen looks fine. You know, it doesn't really look fine, but it looks better than Rogue Harvest's. So comparing this to Rogue Harvest, it's kind of easier to look at before you start playing it, and then they sort of become worse in their own way. You know, this is worse than Rogue Harvest, and Rogue Harvest is worse than this in their own way. Like they're not really, they're only top down. That's the only real direct comparison between the two. They're top down. The combat's weird, and it's hard to tell where you're actually going to hit things when you swing your weapon. The cursor doesn't really give you a good indication of where things are going to land, or where the area of effect of your swing is, I guess. And this one also has the problem of having that like jabbing, stabbing motion sometimes. So sometimes when you think you're going to swing at something that's slightly to the right or left of your character, you're not going to hit it because it's not going to swing consistently, which is not something that I really paid attention to. I just mashed the left click because fuck it. But if I actually wanted to play this game in some sort of strategic or tactical sense, I would want to be able to rely on my weapon a little bit better than that. I don't like not knowing that I can't walk through a space. Like, I think the first 2 times I died to the first boss was just because I wasn't able to walk up to him, and it wasn't really clear to me that I had to smack the rocks. Like, I'd smacked rocks walking around in the level prior, but like it was never necessary before either. So I didn't think of it until I was like just stuck with a whole bunch of potatoes around me, and I just tried to hack my way out, and they all flew. But that's not really, you're not really informing the player of anything. You kind of, that's a level of trial and error that's just sort of frustrating and artificially lengthens the game, I think. Just like I'm going to artificially lengthen this video for Austin's benefit, because he clearly cannot see why you shouldn't play the game within 5 minutes. You know, I think it's a little bit ironic that your item or ability or whatever that you get is a hook shot, because nothing in the game is going to hook you in 5 minutes. And usually I give up on a game a lot faster than that, or I decide that I don't want to play a game like this a lot faster than I did. But I thought at least seeing a boss would give me an idea of the level design in that sense, because it's a significantly different type of room, the boss room, from any other room in a, you know, top-down roguelike piece of shit. So I thought it was worth at least seeing it, but I didn't really think it was worth continuing after dying to it. And I was right. Fancy that. Could you imagine, Austin, someone who actually reviews games on a regular basis, being able to determine in a relatively brief period of time that a game isn't going to get better? And indeed it got worse, which I probably could have called if I had thought to, but I didn't, because why? Why put so much thought into this game? The designers clearly didn't. They've clearly put very minimal effort and thought into this game. And that's as much as I really wanted to put in as well. I mean, I'm going to assume that you think you know what a review is supposed to be based on the fact that you're probably a teenager, right? And if you're a teenager and you think you know everything, then I'm going to put myself into that mind space for a second and consider what you probably wanted from a review. Positivity, probably. You know, there are a lot of reviews that I've noticed, they always try to forgive a game for being shit, and there's no need for that. There's no need for me to give you a recommendation as far as what's to be fixed in the game. That's not my job. My job isn't to fix your shitty game. My job is to point out that it's shit, and in what ways. Give examples. And I did give examples. I gave more examples here because I've played a little bit longer than last time, but pretty much everything wrong with the game is pretty easy and immediate to encounter. It's not like a bug that I bump into once in a while. The core design of the game is to be frustrating and obtuse and abstract. And if you can't really tell where you're supposed to go, not where you're supposed to go, but where you're allowed to go, because, you know, two things that are spaced enough for your character to fit through, but then you just get stuck between them, that's bad design. It's shitty. Like, if you think you can do something and you can't, and there's a good reason to believe that you should be able to do it, then you've fucked up, essentially. It's very much similar to, like, those games, those earlier sandbox games where you can go wherever you want, but then there are invisible walls that you can't pass. It's a similar thing. Like, if you're going to be given the indication that you can do something and then you explicitly cannot do it, then you've designed your game incorrectly. If there was a good reason for me not to be able to walk between those flowers that I clearly had room to get through, then fine. But there wasn't even like electricity shooting between them or anything. There was nothing to indicate that I couldn't get through or that I shouldn't try to get through. So that's bad boss design, certainly. But that was evident in the levels as well. There are things that appear to be obstacles that aren't, and things that don't appear to be obstacles that are. Bad game design. So what else would a teenager expect from a review? I guess longer playtime, right? So we've got that covered already. They probably don't expect to be personally, spoken to, but hey, bonus, right? Wonders of the internet. What else would you expect from a review? It just baffles me that you think that as a reviewer, it is my responsibility to improve a product. Maybe I've read too many movie reviews. where they just point out everything that's wrong, or why it shouldn't have been made, or why you shouldn't waste your time. But that's kind of where I come from. When I watch a review or when I listen to somebody talk about a game, I want to know whether they like it or not, and then what are the things that is wrong with it. And so if I was doing an audio-only review, then certainly I would explain a lot more of the issues that I was having. But if you actually watch the video, I just have the problem repeatedly. It's just not in the game to be played enjoyably. And I looked at a couple other reviews after I read your comment, wondering how anyone could possibly have more to say about the game than what I said. And they really forced it. They are so apologetic. Oh, you know, it's such a cool little cute indie game. I don't think being indie excuses somebody from being shitty. Like, I don't read a story that one person wrote and expect it to be any, like, how do I say this? This is so frustrating for me to try to articulate. If only one person made something and it's not good, maybe they shouldn't have released it. Maybe they should have realized their limitations and given up. Or at least tried again on something else. This feels like an extremely sophomoric endeavor. And I also looked at a couple of reviews that I saw, like an earlier version of this game, and they are trying so hard to, they're just polishing a turd repeatedly. And maybe that's why there are so many assets that are kind of like incongruent with the rest of the game. Like, this background doesn't look like it belongs with this title card. And the font is just, it kind of just seems like it was chosen at random. It doesn't really, it serves its purpose, so I'm not, like, again, not mad at the font or anything, but there isn't consistency. There doesn't seem to be logical progression. There doesn't seem to actually be a story. It seems so misleading in every, like, facet of the game. Like, there seems to be a story that goes on, right? It seems to matter that this character has these traits, which don't seem to do anything. Maybe I need to unlock another character, and I'll learn that there's a difference here. Ability, hookshot, fine. Like, you could just get rid of this. These three things mean nothing to me because there's no story. There are no character interactions that require dialogue or character traits, such as being humble, cocky, or courageous. Like, you're being courageous by default by being an adventurer. Cocky and humble are playstyles. I can just be those things. Like, why are they here? There's no reason. Do I have to get through 5 levels before a story starts? That's bad design. It's bad pacing. It's bad storytelling. Or nah. This is probably the best part of the game. Or nah. You could play this game. Or nah. So I can't imagine that this is a serious game. I can't imagine that somebody would make this game and really expect it to do well. Like, if you made this game by yourself, the best you can really hope for is that a couple of your friends jerk you off because you made a game and they didn't. That's about it. But I don't award people for just doing something. It has to be done well. It has to be done in a way that I would wish I had made it, or that I wonder how they made it. There is no mystery, there is no magic happening at all. It's just as lifeless and soulless as this character's face. Like, I don't know. I see this type of art on the side of local businesses, where they, like, hired their cousin to come in and do a window decal for them or whatever, where, like, the toe is on the wrong side of the foot or whatever. And this guy doesn't have toes at all, but I don't know. There's no really good constructive criticism to give this game because so much is wrong. Like, usually when you give constructive criticism, it's because, I'll go back to the story thing that I dropped earlier. Like, when one person writes a story, the only reason I expect a one-person written story to not be so good is because they don't have that extra set of eyes, the editor, to help them revise things or to give them criticism as they're working. So they kind of turn to the internet to get that done for them for free. But when you're giving constructive criticism, there has to be merit to the work to begin with. There has to, like, the best constructive criticism is to give up, do something else. You clearly know how to make a game. Now go work on a real game. Go work on something that will actually be good and give up on this. This isn't good. It just demonstrates that you know how to make a game. But there are so many things, like it wouldn't even, it's outside of the scope of a review to completely deconstruct the design process. Like you don't read, like I don't read a film review, right? And expect the reviewer to go through the entirety of Hero of 1,000 Faces and compare that to the film and why they didn't, or why they failed to reach that sort of format. They don't. They just say it's not, the story isn't actually there. There are just people, they are doing things, but there's no conflict, there's no real resolution. It almost feels like we're watching a documentary that doesn't have a message. That's what I get out of a review. I want a brief summary, a brief demonstration of what the fuck am I going to waste some money on today? And this is clearly a waste. I only got 5 minutes of playtime out of the game because I felt I had seen everything there was to see, and I wasn't engaged. I didn't want to know if there was more. It's like, what more can you do to this game? Like, if you don't have all of the basics of the gameplay in the first 5 to 10 minutes, why would anybody want to play your game? Like, you would have to have no other option. You would have to be, born in the 80s on a console to put up with shit like that. But we have so many games available to us today that there is no reason to play The Story Goes On or Rogue Harvest. There are so many better options. And hopefully I'll get to review one of them someday. But so far, I am immensely disheartened and discouraged from indie developed games on Steam. Because holy shit, they just let anybody in now, don't they? They don't have any quality control in Steam, and I kind of wish I was hired to do that. Like, I would really love to make sure games like this don't get on Steam. But not my job. All I can help you do is save some money for something that might be good. And maybe I'll get a copy to review a game that's worth spending money on. So far, haven't gotten a lot of confidence that any of those things are going to happen. But we press on, right? You get a copy, they ask you to review it, you do it. It's just a personal responsibility that I decided to endeavor upon. But I don't think anybody is going to need this video. Only Austin, that stupid little shit who can't figure out that a game sucks by looking at it, apparently, and needs his hand held, or his dick held while he pees, to understand what the fuck is going on. I sincerely hope, Austin, that this has helped you understand that the game isn't so good. That even if you finish the first world, the game doesn't suddenly become better. That the core essence of the game is as shitty as you are as a human being. Thanks for watching.